despite the burden of preferences. What a time to be alive. Oh, I know where I'm going. It's black country out there.
Black Country is a region of West Midlands, England that was king hit during the Industrial Revolution with all the labour-intensive, pollution-splooging industries that you could brainstorm, from coal mines to steel mills, kicking black smoke into the air. You can almost imagine sooty stains on even the pages of the history books. I personally would have thought that it meant a shadow cast over the land that has yet to be explored, like an unlocked character but for geography. Now that I think about it, I don't see why it couldn't be both. The lyric, "It's black country out there," sounds like Isaac Wood heeding some kind of warning, but it's also exhilarating, like zooming back into smoggy territory. With only 2 officially released singles out in 2019, Black Country New Road already had folks asking, where the album at? Myself included. The exact style was indecipherable, snarled in absurd spoken word verses, playing leapfrog with the word postmodernism, roaring with the ferocity of guitar rock, but the sneering sarcasm of post-punk, the frailty accented by gorgeous string sections, but then getting these chances to cathart their inner torment via these violent, almost clawing saxophone arrangements, and these are still just those first 2 singles. All these ingredients together had a vaguely familiar taste, so I consulted my flavour chart on the wall of my kitchenette, and it brought to mind the musical habits of the American band OXBOW, so I hoped that Black Country New Road would fill the OXBOW-shaped hole in my heart while they're off for another decade-long hibernation. But BCNR's Grieving is unlike any other bands that I've heard, and that's what makes them so exciting to me. Ham-fisted references to pop culture like Thank You Next, Yui Booms, and Kanye are filed among the more mundane goings-on like selling matcha shots to pay for printing costs, or mother juicing watermelons on the breakfast island with a NutriBullet. It speaks of somebody that has been irony poisoned, but those who are irony poisoned may secretly know that underneath the thick, fatty layer of denial, it's often a self-defense mechanism.
I'm more than adequate. Leave Kanye out of this. Leave your sertraline in the cabinet and burn what's left of all the cards you kept.
The music video for Science Fair was directed by Bart Price, whose work uses stock photos, footage, and music to create a narrative, and BCNR aim for the same emotional neutrality or detachment, judging by their often vague track titles and the album cover that even looks like a stock photo. The aesthetic is made impenetrable, so you can't get through to the core of it without bushwhacking the tough weeds away with a rusted machete. Contrary to the title, I hadn't heard most of the tracks on For the First Time, but the long-awaited album still pulled new surprises and unexpected disappointments. But these moments only solidify how exciting that I think the new road is for Black Country. How much untapped territory might there be? If you thought traditional Jewish klezmer wasn't something that the band would concoct, then fuck, look right there, the album is bookended by 2 whole tracks of that. While they aren't the most imaginative takes on it, there's something so undeniably fun about hearing a motor-paced rhythm with the same melody striking you again and again and again like an angry railroad worker. Those first 2 singles before the album's release are on For the First Time, but I was taken aback when I was ready to rap along to the opening lyrics of Athens, France, only to discover that the verse had been changed. What we got here are re-recordings of the tracks with some new lyrics, new arrangements, and in the case of the new Sunglasses, a new atmosphere that does vacuum out the brooding, snarling darkness of the original and replaces it with what sounds like a live jam band version that you'd hear on KEXP. And while the original verse on Athens, France alludes to sexual discomfort and potentially trauma with that previously mentioned self-defensive irony, the new version backpedals on that completely.
She flies to Paris, France. I come down in her childhood bed and write the words I'll one day wish that I had never said.
This is not the only sexually aggressive quote that's been switched out, but the songs themselves are self-referential, alluding to artistry, the music scene that they come from the Windmill Pub in Brixton, trying to make ends meet with your art, jokingly calling themselves a Slint tribute act, rewriting songs to try and get them more perfect than the last time, building new road out of Black Country ground.
Of rising skirt hems, lowering IQs and things just aren't built like they used to be. The absolute pinnacle of British engineering.
I would have hoped that this wasn't where the album left its thoughts. It seems weirdly exclusive to secretly reveal that your lyrics would best be deciphered by somebody who's seen a live performance from Wanky Coat Rack Jerskin Fendrix, but it briefly taps into more universal feelings of fearing the past and fearing the future and wanting to plant your feet firmly in the present. Although, of course, if you only stand still, time will keep moving on ignorant to you. Sunglasses is the snarkiest song of all, a song both complicit in and furious at upper-class privilege, where Wood sees himself as his mother's father and adapts his jaded, elderly perspective. The phase of the song where he goes, "I am invincible in these sunglasses," seems to serve as his full transformation. But it's track X that blew me away, although blow me away isn't the attitude of the track, more like politely breathing to flutter my skin hairs. To me, it's like having so much stewing inside you, but never being able to say it fully, hence leaving the song untitled.
I guess in some way
And that's the lyric for me. Out of all the hilarious references, the vivid imagery, the fascinating meta, to me the most impactful, even representative sentence on this album is actually the one that is left vague and unfinished, but it gives me chills because I just get it. We see all the omens, we try to add up all the experiences, we hear the sounds, and we hope for all of it to make sense, or for all of it to culminate in an album with answers. We search for meaning because it'll drive us insane if we can't connect all the dots. But like an exciting new band that hasn't even yet reached their peak, we might just not end up with a concluded sentence. It leaves you hanging for a long while, before you realize that this is all we can sit with for now.